encourage people that even if all you've got is 5 or 10 minutes a day, just start with one small thing, one small corner, one small drawer that you can just quickly make a little bit of difference in, and just embrace that feeling of just taking it all out, doing a quick categorizing, throwing out the things you don't need, and then putting it back in an organized way. Even if all you're using is some pieces of cardboard to separate it, just progress over perfection. Just start small.
Hi, welcome to Allow Yourself. And today we have a very different guest that has a lot to help us, especially moms. And her name is Florena Davies. She is in Canada and she is the founder of a company that is called Organized by Flo, a professional organizing company serving busy families across the lower mainland in Canada. As a mom herself, she understands firsthand how quickly life can feel overwhelming when your home isn't working for you. She specializes in helping family transform cluttered, chaotic spaces into calm, functional homes that support really everyday life. Known as her warm and non-judgmental approach, Florena goes beyond surface level organizing by addressing the emotional side of clutter and creating systems that's simple, sustainable, and easy to maintain. Oh, we all need that in our life. Her mission is to help families really to reduce the stress, simplify their routines, and truly feel at home again in their space. She also published is a published author and passionate about teaching organization in a way that feels supportive, realistic, and doable. So, hi, let's welcome Florena.
Thank
Hi, Florena.
you. Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an honor, especially in this crazy world that we all run, and mothers are they don't know what to do first, if the supermarket or the laundry or going to work, right? So,
That's right.
so so important in our lives today to be organized in order to feel calm. Uh,
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's really sad because around 55% of Americans report feeling stressed by clutter in their homes. And I think that's a really significant amount. Um, and I get it as a mom myself and now a business owner. I feel it.
mm. And when you hear allow yourself, what comes to mind?
Allow yourself. I mean, it would be creating a sense of calm so that you can then allow yourself to be free to be you.
A sense of calm.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's not to be calm, it's the sense to be in a calm situation.
that's right.
And how do you get there organizing the outside place?
I think that when you are in a calm, decluttered environment and you're not constantly looking at things everywhere, it gives you so much more of a sense of just being able to sit down, especially women. Women tend to have higher cortisol levels by looking at clutter. So, I mean, if you have a high cortisol level because you're constantly looking at clutter, you never fully are able to like center yourself, be calm in yourself. You can't be you.
It's very interesting, because I work in mindset.
Yeah,
That's what I do with
yes,
people. I help people to organize their mind in
that's
order
right.
to function. And the spaces are so important because kind of a reflection or a mirroring or who we are, right? Or
Mhm.
what do we have in our head. I I remember the piano teacher of my daughters used to say, did you make your bed when they got to class? The first question is, did you make your bed this morning? And he says, what is the relevance to that? Because and the teacher used to say, because if your bedroom is organized, your head is organized. So
Yeah, but that's deep.
that's deep. And how did you get here? How did you get to do that job that is so important and so needed today?
Um, Through my whole entire life, I would declutter every I would declutter everything around me. I don't know what um would come over me, but it was like the only way that I could feel a sense of calm inside of me and a sense of control was to create these little systems. And I remember growing up, my mom later in life said to me, I would come home and you would have rearranged my whole entire kitchen. And she said, and I couldn't find anything. And I would try to be quiet because I knew this was, this was what you love to do. And she said, so my kids, both my kids went into kindergarten was when I started Organized by Flow. And she said, this is going to be the most perfect thing for you because it's like it's always just been inside of me. And having two kids, I was constantly searching for, because life is always evolving. One minute they're in soccer, the next minute they're, in dance. And so it was always just finding systems so that it was easy, so that I could find their soccer outfit on Saturday morning, so that I could find their dance outfit, so that I had their backpacks ready to go for school and I knew where they were and I wasn't feeling the sense of chaos because I misplaced something.
Wow. So you said that you had it since you were a kid. So it's
Yeah.
something natural for you
Yes.
ah, to have order in your life and to have
Yes.
control. And how does it felt when your kids were small? Because for mothers, especially first mothers, when the first kid comes, there is such a mess in the head and such a mess around that they don't know. They're learning how to incorporate one more person into their lives and
Right.
that depend on them. So
Right.
how do you approach that?
Um, for me, it was just as soon as it clicked that there was going to be now a new routine, making sure that the wet wipes were always stocked. So every single day I had a little bit of a routine of making sure that, bottles were clean. This was that, that was that. Um, Making sure that I got my exercise in for the day, because that also makes such a huge difference in your mental health. So it was just creating a sense of routine, and it's kind of figuring out after, especially after the first couple of weeks, what that new routine is going to be. It's obviously easier when you go into a second baby because you already know what that first little bit kind of is going to look like. Um, but it was all about the routine. And during my nesting phase, I would go through like ensuring that everything was, the 0 to 3 month clothes, the 3 to 6, the wet wipes, everything was kind of, I was very routine oriented in my brain to um, ensure that that phase of life was going to go as successfully as it can go, knowing that there's so many different things that are going on in your brain after a baby is born that you cannot control.
Oh, so when you get all those presents that you get with the first baby, that you get close from 0 to 2 years, right?
Yes.
Um, so that's the first thing you did to classify them and organize them in your closet.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, it was a really big thing for me. And it's something that for me, it's something that I love to do. So it was something that came easily and naturally for me, which is why I am so inspired now to help busy families, busy moms to be. And not just moms, but busy professionals. But you know, either way, I really love creating like a sense of order and routine. And even if I could work with people to create that routine prior, um, I love that.
It sounds so easy for you because it's granted, right?
That's right.
It's granted for you, but me as a mother and having two daughters with kids, I know that that first month it's like all the presents go to a drawer, and then how to
Mhm.
organize it and how to do it. And it really makes a difference that you don't have to look through everything in order to get um the basics, no? The diapers, the
Yeah.
cream for the
Mhm.
rash, the underwear, I don't know, the socks, whatever. So tell us stories that you have experience with clients, for example, that you get there and it's a complete clutter and they have no peace in their mind because everything is everywhere and they cannot really organize the motherhood or the civil life with the professional life.
Yeah, for sure. The first thing that I do when I come into anybody's home is we focus on the area that bothers them the most. Let's say for instance we're talking about babies, it's a baby room. And what I'll do is I will take as much as I can and sort it and categorize it, and then we look through it together. I think one of the biggest keys is decluttering first, because you can't organize clutter. Um, you'll still be back in the same spot. You still are in a state of having too much. So we work together to declutter. Um, and then I find systems that are going to work for the family. So whether it's a drawer full of um, let's say baby clothes, we will do the 0 to 3, and we'll separate it from, the rompers to the sleepers. It's all categorized that way as well. And then we'll put aside the ones that are a little bit too big. We'll put them into maybe bins or something, and we'll label it. So it makes it super easy when 0 to 3 is now done to go into 3 to 6. And now we can easily pull the 3 to 6, put them in the drawer, and then we're again good to go. Um, and that's the easiest, most functional way for a family. Some will have me come in again, when life shifts and now we're into ballet and soccer and whatnot. But that right off the bat, that is the best way to start working with a family.
Hmm. And what about kitchen?
The kitchen, yeah. Um,
What means declutter? Give us an example. What means declutter?
so when I say declutter, I mean letting things go that are either we no longer love, we no longer use, we don't, it might be broken. So when I start in the kitchen, I try to go for the pantry, the food first, because for clients, it is one of the easiest ways, but we don't usually have an emotional attachment to expired foods. So I will take everything out of the pantry. I'll categorize it. So we've got all the soups, we've got all the pastas, we've got all the um, crackers. Uh, and I encourage families to let go of for a full reset. And I really want to bring you back to a full reset in order to minimize and create those systems. I encourage people to let everything go that is expired. I've had a few once or twice that don't want to, but to get that full reset, to bring you back to a full functional home, we're going to let go of all the expired foods. And then we'll move on to, the plates, the cutlery, etc. And I'm going to look at where the dishwasher is in comparison to where the sink is in comparison to where the stove is. So I want the utensils to go preferably into a drawer that's close to the stove, and then the cutlery to go somewhere that's close to the dishwasher but also close to the table. And I'm working with the family. Again, I know there's muscle memory, but I'm working with the family to try to create it so it's really quick and easy. So I can grab, plates from the dishwasher, get them into the cupboard, and then grab a plate, dish up the food, put it to the table.
Well, you said something really, really interesting here, that you start from the pantry because there is no emotional attachment
Typically,
to
yeah.
the food. Usually there is no emotional attachment. What it means that to the clutter, it's really connected to the emotional um, bonding that you have. Um, I want to use this cup because it reminds me, is the one that my mom used to use when she was here. And when she comes and visit, this is my mom's cup, so we don't use it. We keep it here. Uh, yeah, is that the emotional attachment? How people relate to objects when they are
Yeah.
decluttering? And
Yeah.
clothes, I mean, the I can relate to sweaters that were my mom or somebody told me that this looks nice, so this is the one that I wore when I went out with my boyfriend, even if it has 20 years in the closet and never use it. So just explain us a little bit, how does the decluttering uh, works in different people?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have had some clients that have a hard time even letting food go. Um, but what I'll encourage people to do, because I've had a few clients that have a lot of resistance to letting things go, is I encourage them to take a photo and then let it go so they can now refer to that photo and see that photo and get that same feeling from that photo. Um, Sometimes what we'll do is we will put it into a bin and put it into storage. So, that sweater that was my mom's and it reminds me of my mom and I can't physically let it go. The photo isn't going to work for me in this moment. We'll put it into a bin and we'll set aside a bin of sentimental items and we'll label it sentimental and put it away, because now it's not things that you're trying to find your favorite sweater and now you're sorting through all these clothes that are just sentimental, but they're not relevant in my day-to-day life. So now I've got it out of the closet and we've got it into a bin and we put it, into a storage unit. So I've got many ways that I try to work with people to help them uh, create functionality, but still hold on to those treasures that they love.
What I'm hearing is that there is a lot of allow yourself to let go,
That's
allow
right.
yourself to change, allow
That's right.
yourself, because clutter is also a psychological way of hiding from other things, right? So it's like opening space, give you, yes, more calm and more um, space to think and
That's
more
right.
order in your life,
That's right.
but also brings up other parts of your life that you were not aware, right?
That's right.
Because you're opening space to let other things come in.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing too is that a lot of people can't allow themselves to hire an organizer because it feels so personal having somebody come into their space. And I recognize that it's not an easy thing for a lot of clients to do. Have somebody come in and see their home um, in the state that it's become. And so I really appreciate my clients who do let me come in and do let me into their lives. Every single client has said to me at the end of it that they're so appreciative of the work that we've done together, because they can now feel free to spend that time with family members that they love so much, that they haven't allowed into their homes in a long time.
And that's very important what you said. No, they allow themselves for you to go into their spaces,
Yes.
especially because you are not judging. You know that it happens and people get there, and you're there especially for that, to help them. But if they're not allowing you to come in and help you, can you imagine how those members of that family feel to invite people to their home?
As some of them don't.
It's exactly, it's like, no, I don't allow them to see who I am in my
That's right.
disaster, right?
That's right.
So correct.
Correct. 100%. Yeah. I've had some clients who have sat me down to eat with them and said it's been a long time since I've gotten together with people because of what's going on in my home, and they just want that connection. That's so and I'll just sit with them and eat with them, and we'll just chit chat about everyday life because um and it might be the first time in many years that they've actually sat with somebody aside from being at work.
Well, I can imagine, because what happens outside is really a mirror of what's happening in your head. So it's like, if I see that, what would they think? Who am I, right?
Right.
uh collector, cluttered, disorganized, not clean, all the judgment that comes with that. If I invite people to come, how would they feel? And you don't know if their houses is better or not, but you're already judging yourself. That's the first thing you're doing. You are the first one who's judging yourself. So, in order to let you come in, um, I think it's very important for them not to stop judging themselves.
Yes.
That I can change this. So how is the approach? I'm very curious.
Um,
How do people connect with you? Call, call you, or saying what, or how do they get to you without that shame feeling? Because I can imagine there's a lot of shame or guilt in the first conversation.
yeah, there is a lot of shame and guilt. Some people have hit a rock bottom recently. For a client, it was specifically that um, her child had come over with a friend when she wasn't around, and she felt so much shame in the fact that the friend's mom, who had escorted them to the house, just had seen her house that way. And so she had kind of hit a rock bottom. So she was very open. She was wonderful. She was like so open and just was so gracious, and wanting that help. But a lot of the time it's, they're calling me because they finally hit a spot where they feel like they need to let things go. There's some sort of situation, it might be a transition, a loved one has gotten sick, etc. um but it's usually that they've hit some sort of a breaking point where they're, okay, I'm finally going to call you, and I always respond with so much empathy. I really know and I appreciate how hard it is to let somebody come in and look through. We're looking through the deepest, hardest sometimes parts of their lives. Like, we're sorting through clients' paperwork, we see a lot of things, right?
I don't know. Yeah. Do you see a lot of
Absolutely. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like that you say is that it's we go through it. It's not that you go by yourself. It's is the your job more to a companion and teach how to do it, or create the system, but you accompany what yes, what no, how do we do it, where would you like this, more
That's right.
like helping them to find their own
That's right.
order.
Yes, and we're also we almost are a therapist as well with people. A lot of people, they share a lot of things with us. So we're almost working as a therapist, and listening to their stories and sharing their experiences, so to speak. Yeah.
I can imagine because not long ago I did a course that it's the emotional relationship with objects, right?
Mm,
So how do we have a lot of objects in the house that we do? They are doing nothing. They are just collecting dust, but we are not ready to let them go.
yes.
So it's become part of our identity
Hmm.
at the end of the day. So it's like, who am I without these objects, and who I am without this disorder, this organization, and and it's crazy, but sometimes we are attached to a fork and we are not ready to eat with any other fork but this one, no?
Yeah.
It's like little kids that this is my cup and nobody drinks from my cup.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. Um, and there's also you mentioned, our attachment to objects, but also some clients have an attachment to shopping. And then not only is there an attachment to shopping, but then there's the guilt behind, I don't understand why I'm shopping so much. So it runs deep. You get this attachment to so many different things that are going on in your life. At the end of the day, people are releasing their stress by shopping, and they don't even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah. Um, it's very interesting because I've been doing this podcast of Allow Yourself, and a lot of people invite things into their lives, right?
Yes.
Um, but lately, it has become more and more the allow myself to stop doing this, allow
Yeah.
myself to declutter. But
Hmm.
not, I had one guest that says, my next step in life is to allow myself to declutter. And I said, what do you mean? I said, not only declutter material things in my house, is also habits. And
Yeah.
he came to this. So you can tell me more examples so people can understand, the audience, what do you mean? This guy said, I uh, decided not to wear dry cleaning suits because it avoids me to go to the dry cleaning, to go and spend the time to take the clothes, to go to the dry cleaning, drop it there, and then pick it up and bring it back. So that's half an hour a week that I'm saving from my life, that it's so decluttering time. So I'm opening the time. So decluttering time is not only decluttering material things, but decluttering time. And I had another guest, for example, I want you to tell us stories like this, that she said, oh, I had a long hair and I spent like an hour every single day uh, getting ready to leave because my long hair. So I needed more time in my day so I can enjoy and have my coffee in a more calm way. So she went and cut her hair completely, shave it, and says, I look beautiful and I don't deal anymore an hour with my hair. So I have an hour for me and not my hair. So
Wow.
small things that declutter, we really think and declutter in spaces, but really
Sure.
when we declutter spaces, we are decluttering time too, because we don't need to start looking, where did I leave my socks? Where are my shoes? Or where? So
Yes.
tell us stories, because it's very interesting how different people allow themselves to reorganize their space. Reorganizing their space, they reorganize in their life, according to what I understand.
Yes, but as you just brought up, there's also um reorganizing your time, right? She shaved her hair and now she's reorganized her time. That's changed her routine. She's not getting up, she's not doing, maybe she's doing her makeup still, I'm not too sure, but she's not spending that hour on her hair. She's spending it doing something, I hope, that she loves to do, enjoying her coffee, enjoying some peace and quiet in her morning. Like, that's actually very beautiful. And this is why I try so hard to work with clients to declutter spaces, sure, but it's also t- getting rid of a lot of mental clutter. And I think that's what makes a lot of people sick, is a lot of mental clutter. We're holding on to so many different, you know, objects hold energy. And so when I walk out of a space, I when I leave a client's home and we've decluttered, I take the donations to the donation center for them. And I always feel such a sense of like, whew, off of their space as I walk out. Because it's like so much, that all of that energy is now leaving their space to give them the energy and the time to now spend doing the things that they truly love, and spending time with, I hope, their loved ones, being able to now take that time away and go spend it with the things that they want to do, the people that they want to spend it with, having people into their home now. Yeah.
Have you had any client that after declutter feel empty?
That their home felt empty.
That they feel empty because
I've
like
never had a client say that to me.
I'm missing so many things for
Nope.
me.
I've actually never
Mhm.
had a client say that to me. I've never I've had so many clients that tell me that their home feels so much better, that they feel so much more free.
Ah, that's the
Um,
word. No
that's
empty,
the word,
free.
free, that they feel so
Hmm.
much more free. Yeah, but no, I've never had a client say that they felt empty. Um, and I
But,
would
but
work.
because you're taking a lot of things out, a lot of energy, a lot of things. So it's freedom where they're looking.
Yeah,
It's not just the space, it's the freedom. That's what I
that's it.
wanted to get to. What do they feel after all that? Is there,
Freedom,
yeah.
freedom. Yep, yep, that's right.
It's not, they don't feel, it's a rewarding sense of um, freedom and not a sense of loss. Because if you see it, if you don't walk with them, probably the feeling is to throw things away. It's like a mourning, like a, like a, like grabbing something out of my life. But when you do it with companion, like you do it, and with explanation and with respect that what you're ready to let go and what you're not ready to let go, and just reorganize. You don't have to throw anything away. You just need to reorganize your daily space. Is what I hear is that you do that with a lot of love and a lot of respect with the person that is there. That's why there is no judgment and no fear to, oh, I'm going to drop something that I will regret after.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I can typically tell when a client is holding on to something too. Um, I when they're standing there and they start humming and hawing, I will say right away, I can already see that there's no more love for that. I can feel from you that you don't actually want that anymore. And listen, I've had many clients that will still hold on to it because they're just not ready to make that next step. But most clients, they they will kind of relent, sort of, so to speak, and be like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's 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 habit for people to want to keep extra things, but at the end of the day, when they do let it go, it's such a freeing process.
And how can people get to that clutterness? What do you
I,
think?
what do you
How
mean?
people get to be in a situation that is very cluttered is is what is the reason?
There's many reasons. um one that a couple that I've seen, a divorce sometimes, um, which contains a lot of grief and many other emotions that can come on with that. Sometimes it's the loss of a loved one. Some people it is genetic. There, I mean, it's usually some sort of huge life transition of some sort, and sometimes it's even not even something that they're it'll be more of a subconscious thing for them, like they haven't fully realized what's happened, etc.
Yeah. And as we said at the beginning, and the no one coming into their life, that they have no idea of how to manage a the new situation.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be something joyous. It can be the birth of a baby, and things just pile up and get away from them. They're just so busy that they, haven't had the time or the energy. If you have a call of baby, nobody's got time or energy to be dealing with um, things piling up in their home.
Yeah, they have to deal to how to.
Easy to take your Amazon cart to checkout. It's not easy to get up off the couch when you've been up with a baby all night and take the stuff out of the house.
Not like that. It's hard to fold the all the clothing at that
That's
time.
too. That's too. Yep.
And kids grow so fast that
Yep.
suddenly you see that a half of the drawer is closed that they don't use anymore, and or toys, no,
Yes.
or with a lot of toys. So
Yes.
it's like taking
And
the time.
for some people, the toys are still they're still a memory of what was. So they remember their baby playing with that toy or those toys, and then they have a hard time letting it go because now they've grown up out of that and they're not in that phase, so it's becomes emotional and then they hold on to it.
Yeah. Oh, maybe when I have an ex son or daughter, and then they'll never, and they'll still keep the same toy.
That's right.
There. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful work that you do, and
Thank you.
help. I know that you help a lot of people going through and just decluttering and making more space in their, not only in their house, in their time, in their routine, in their head. So, is there any advice you want to give?
Yeah, I want to encourage people that even if all you've got is 5 or 10 minutes a day, just start with one small thing, one small corner, one small drawer that you can just quickly make a little bit of difference in, and just embrace that feeling of just taking it all out, doing a quick categorizing, throwing out the things you don't need, and then putting it back in an organized way. Even if all you're using is some pieces of cardboard to separate it, just progress over perfection. Um, just start small.
What would you say to Florena, the teenager?
Me as a teenager,
Yeah. What would you tell her to allow herself? What do you tell? You should allow yourself what?
yeah, I would, I would give her a hug, and I would just tell her to breathe. To be honest with you, yeah, I didn't have a lot of confidence as a teenager, so yeah,
And breathe. Everything is okay.
everything is
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, just relax.
And today, what would you need to allow yourself for your next stage in life?
How, like, what would I tell myself to allow
Yeah.
myself in the next stage of life?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I still need I probably still need to take a step back sometimes and just relax.
Yeah, we need to remind that to ourselves, huh?
Yeah.
Just to allow ourselves to rest and to relax
Mhm.
and to recharge. I call it recharging energies. That's how
There we go. Yes.
that's how I call it. I can tell you, I have told this story before, but I really like the Mentalist, the program. And here in Costa Rica, they do it in at 1 o'clock. So I was working, and then I sometimes I didn't even have lunch, but because I knew there was the Mentalist, so I ate fast, and then I sat on the couch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to watch the Mentalist, and my head was, why? What a lazy person in the middle of the day watching TV. Um, what people will think about me, no? The entrepreneur sitting down and watching TV in the middle of the day. Until I rename it. Lunch and the Mentalist is to recharge my energy so I will work much better in the afternoon. So that was my permission not to feel guilty or shame or whatever, just to
Yeah.
allow myself to recharge
Yes.
energies. So it's like
Absolutely.
a
Because
step back.
we're
So
so go, 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 go. And that's not healthy for us.
yeah, so you have sometimes to allow yourself to take a step back and yeah,
Enjoy the
and
moment.
chill, enjoy the moment. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Florina, for your kindness and your wisdom and your open heart, and where people can find you.
You can find me on Instagram. It's OBF Organized by Flow. And my website, organizedbyflow.com. I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn under Organized by Flow.
Organized by Flow.
Yep.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, for all the people that are listening to us, uh, remind I want to remind you that you can allow yourself and give yourself permission to rest, to explore, to organize, to do one drawer at a time,
That's right.
and allow yourself to embrace the feeling. That's the motivation, the feeling that you will feel, and especially allow yourself to be you. That's the main thing. So
Thank
thank
you.
you, Florena. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
wisdom, your open heart, your vulnerability, your experience, and really help us make us our safe place in our home and our safe place in our mind. So thank you very much and see
Thank
you
you.
next time.